very warm good evening to one and all present here. First of all, I welcome all these directors, and amongst these directors, one producer is also sitting. Yeah, we need a producer also on the stage. Friends, this is 11th edition of Ajanta Ellora Film Festival, and we have Indian competition where we call films from India, and all these directors, they have sent their film. We as a team, as an organizing committee member, we appreciate your effort that you have sent the film to our festival for the competition. As you know it, that amongst us in the audience, there are various students also sitting from MGM Film School, because our city consists of 2 universities, so students of 2 universities who are interested in films, they are also sitting with us. And I would like to say to the audience that most of the directors sitting here, they are debutant. And we have seen their films, and we can surely say that films are in good hands in India, and we can even try to go ahead in some other competitions across the globe. I'd like to start first with the producer, because let us have producer's role and his perception, that why he is so much interested in bringing the film and to give a story, a screen where everything seems to be not that much economical or financially viable, but still you tried well. What is the reason that you have tried for this movie especially?
I never thought like it will start from me. So basically I'm an accidental producer. So I want to get into films, I want to direct movies, that is my passion, and past 15 years. Yeah, past 15 years I am trying to make movies. Unfortunately, I am pitching people with my concept. Everyone said there is no value. Because like either you come up with an actor, and maybe they never said like the story is bad or the concept is bad, just because of the budget. Then I thought like, why they are not investing in my project? Then slowly ended up like this, like I'm not a person, I have a lot of money in my pocket to do a movie. So, but I realized there are funding is available for movies that we can do. Nowadays, the situation is little different. And what we spend for this movie, is it came back, that's a question, but frankly, it's not at all came back. So whether I'll do my next film, we already started the movie, that's the reason the director can't be here. So why this film, the question is little complicated. I work with commercial movies as well, so we miserably failed couple of movies, we spend a lot of money and including others' money. So if we are spending our money, it's not a big complication. But spending someone else's money is going to be a little task for us. So this project, like I know Sanju personally. Personally, matlab, I watched his movie, and based on the movie, we had a connection. And he came and asked me about this project, like there is a project like this and it's happening in Delhi. And now I'm staying in Delhi. So I got to connected to that concept, but frankly, if you're asking me if I'm the director, how I'll do it, I never ask these questions to the director because it's his movie. And the funding also, it's not like a Bahubali or KGF. So the investment what we had for this project is comparatively lesser than maybe a actor's payment for, I can't say a big artist, like a junior artist payment for a movie. Junior, matlab, I'm not degrading the value of that. So yeah.
But when you may plan this, that I will pitch this movie, I will do this particular movie, have you put certain I would not use this word, but certain conditions or certain limitations to Sanju that, okay, I need to do in this particular framework. I cannot go move beyond that. Or have you given the full liberty to Sanju that, okay, you can go ahead, I'm there?
I think here, I mean, whoever is sitting here, I don't think like any of the producer may say something like that to an independent movie. So we are also working with a strict budget. And why we were doing this movie just because of the budget. That's the fact. So if it's something big, then we may ask for the release time and how the money will come back. And these kind of films, of course, we don't know when the money will come back and from where the money will come back. But when we started working with this film, now we have a clarity. We don't want to invest complete to this movie because we will get some funding from other entities. So we have some faith on the concept and we have a strict budget in our pocket. And frankly speaking, many of the HODs are not paid yet. Yeah. Because like it's not like the other commercial movies, we ask them to come and work and we never paid that money. They are willing to come for these kind of films, and most of the technicians were filmmakers in this industry right now, and they all are working hard for other commercials and they want to do something like this. And these kind of platforms also giving, I mean, like couple of movies I watched from here, it's not released anywhere. And there are films like it's released on platforms like Netflix and Amazon. They have a different policy. And why these filmmakers are need to do films, the reason is that someone need to do it on some other end. And someone need to support it for this kind of projects also. And I am expecting something like this with me also. Some producer may say, yes, for my movie. So this is a fan opinion. Like through this journey, I also learned how to work within the budget and how we can finish something within the budget. So there is nothing fancy with it. So we took some apartment and all of them stayed together. And then also the money will cut like that. We never see a caravan on our set. So that's a fact. Yeah.
One thing, looking at this exposure that you have sent your movie for this competition, do you think that this will surely influence your next project?
The question, it was a very relevant question. At least one spark from one person can change everything. That's what my belief. Maybe one person from this side or someone who watched the movie or someone have the same interest. Frankly, I never came here with the movie in an intention like this movie can give me something else. This is all kind of like meeting people. Here I don't think like the random the commercial lovers will come and watch it for spend their time and watch this kind of movie. And I'm coming from Kerala, we have AIFF and these kind of festivals. I mean 10,000 delegates and after a point of time they will close the delegation. But then also these festivals are growing in a way that maybe the commercial industry can't do. And someone need to say something on this scale also. So that's the fact.
Thank you, sir. Now let me ask the directors. I'm not going to ask one by one a question, but my question is, I can say, a very common question for all the directors. And I'm expecting an answer from you, from your understanding, from your perception. What experience or personal experience or you can say a certain real incident or real world events sparked the central conflict of your film? There might be something that sparked certain conflict in your mind, in your thought, and you planned that. I want this thought to be on the screen. I want to share it, as we heard in earlier session, what Rasul Pukutti said, that I want to share something, or Chaudhary sir said that I want to share something to the audience. I want to share to the people that what is going in my mind, what I think always. So what kind of spark that real-time incident or anything that makes you to make this, or you want to convert this into a film? I want to start with Doctor.
Good evening to everyone. Thank you, sir. I'm a film society activist, basically, because I'm the General Secretary of Assam Film Society and the founder General Secretary of Assam Film Society. And I am the director of Assam International Film Festival, and we have started way back in 2017 Assam International Rural Film Festival. So, uh, I love to call myself as a film society activist, but my film, this is a missing language film. This is not a dominant language in Assam because missing is one of the oldest tribes in Assam. So in Assam, the state language is Assamese. And we have another eighth scheduled language that is Bodo. But missing is not a scheduled language even. So the population is not, yeah, it's not much. But I make this film because actually I want to tell a story. And I meet these people very closely. I have seen them very closely. And what happens, where I shooting took place, it is in the Majuli district. It is the only island district in India. But the Majuli, this is not mainland Majuli. There are so many small river islands where missing community, missing people live. And their day-to-day struggle. I think no big production house will come to make a film of those people. So I think, and I have decided to make a film. And in my film, I deliberately try to show one thing. There is a community degeneration among the people. And I think that is very dangerous. When community degeneration takes place, it is very difficult to correct them. So I try to portray it. I don't know how much I'm successful or not, but thank you again because this film is selected in the Indian competition section of this festival, and that's why I like it. I offer my thanks to the selection committee even for selecting my film, and I am very happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, Abhay.
There's not something very specific as in terms of the story, because when I wrote the story with my co-writers, there was nothing from my life in that. But then when you are writing and you are letting the story grow, this is something which I believe, whenever you are creating something, there has to be something personal in it, and that's what it makes unique for the viewers, right? So there are a lot of themes in the film. There's a little burden of my past relationship. There are things which I care about. There are things which I want to say. They are in the film, and in terms of how my character behaves or what he believes in, I try to put some things here and there. Also, I decided to shoot this film in my hometown, Himachal, and with this film, a very big intent was to to show the world what our culture really is, and with a very contemporary story, breaking the stereotypes. Whenever you hear Himachal, there's a certain image which comes to everyone's head, and I really wanted to break that because I personally feel we really lack the exposure in terms of the world doesn't know what our music is, what our culture is, So I tried to inculcate the general life and all these things into this story and, show it to the world, not in a way that I want to be preachy about it, but I just want people to see a glimpse of, reality of how life there it exists. Also, another thing which was very personal for all of us, all my crew, was all of us, we really, all of us want to be filmmakers, and we were very young when we shot this film 2 years back. The average age was 24, 25. So, and all of us, we are friends. So that made it more personal when we were making it film, because they backed me, I was backing them, and me and my producer, he Ajay is sitting right here, and he really trusted me because we share very similar ideas in terms of how we want to make cinema in the future, how we want to tell stories. So I think that really bonded us all together, and we made this film.
Yeah, thank you. Shubham.
First of all, I would like to thank Ajanta Ellora Film Festival for making the premiere happen for my film. So uh, I just received overwhelming response from the audience, and I'm so grateful to the festival. And of course, when you receive such response from the audience, and the story is very personal, so it's kind of like a reflection that what they think about your story or your life. It was that kind of thing. So it happened very, I would say, organically in my perspective, because I was working for a script. I was writing a screenplay for Dhananjay Kulkarni. He's a really veteran DOP in Marathi industry. So I was writing a screenplay for him, and by accident I went to Khidrapur for some research for regarding that project, and I stayed at the Sarpanch's house. And while I stayed there, I always captured few moments in the village. So being born and brought up in the city, when I went to village, I had a unique perspective of looking at it, because when I like showcase those pictures to Sarpanch, he was like, I was born here, but I never saw my village like this. So I thought I had something like a unique vision to look at this particular setting, because when you come from a background, there is I really don't have any struggle story. If I want to share, I'm very privileged, and I have no conflict in my life. But of course, it's internal. But if you go to like rural India, do the groundwork, and look at the village in a way that you felt it right, or you felt something that I'm missing this in my life. Maybe that's why my life is not cinematic. So that was the vision behind it. What if a cinemaholic guy who's a 20-year-old kid who goes to a village and explores from his innocent perspective what rural India is, and comes back with a changed perspective? So that was the story I came up with. I called Dhananjay Kulkarni sir, and I was like, thank you so much. Even though that project didn't work out, I have my film, my first film. So that's how my film.
Shivadhvaj. Yeah.
Hello everyone. This is my second visit in here, Ajanta Ellora. I came for 9th edition and this edition. Basically, I am from a coastal Karnataka person, Tulu speaking person. Why I do Tulu cinemas? Because the stories and the local culture, that content, I doesn't want to learn or research. It is my experience from my childhood. At the same time, there is like Tulu speaking people are less. So I just wanted to spread this one, that Tulu language is there, so that across the India and world, this language, this rare language should reach everyone. The same time, whenever I do Tulu cinemas, there will be one cultural matter. I took it purposely, I get that cultural thing into my subject, because we have very rich culture in South Canara. This is my 6th cinema, and all of my cinemas here or there, I got an recognition. This particular Imbu cinema was selected Indian Panorama and Kolkata and Guwahati, Pune, and this one. Basically, an actor turned to director. Why? Because that I have to tell. I started my career as an actor. I was doing commercial cinema as well, independent cinema also. When I was doing commercial cinema, when I do independent cinema simultaneously, somewhere I got some interest in this kind of cinemas. So I used to watch that senior directors doing that project, and after I used to come out from that project, I used to start writing one small line, very small line. I elaborate that into a screenplay. Then I'll discuss with my friends and how I started doing cinemas. And moreover, I am so happy. Then I am into both commercial and independent cinema also. and very much happy seeing all Indian directors and debut directors are all there. Thank you very much for this opportunity, great opportunity. Hope in future I will become with another one concept. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Anupurna.
Hi everyone. Answering the question, the theme or the subject of the film came in my mind when I was spending a lot of time in my maternal grandmother's house. I saw my maternal grandmother spending a lot of time with her own stepdaughter. Both were at the same age because, my grandmother had her child marriage back then. And when she entered into the house, she found a stepdaughter who was at her own age, like it's a similar age. So they grew a bond, and they raised the whole family, without any male member after my grandfather died. So basically, I have seen them debating on marriage. One is justifying marriage, the other is denying it, because the stepdaughter was a widow, so she always denied marriage. And my grandmother used to justify the marriage. So sort of that debate I tried to put into my film in one of the scenes where two of the women are trying to talk about marriage. One is denying, one is justifying. So I guess that one thing is very personal if I had to talk about it. Yeah.
So nice. Nidhi.
Hi, thank you for inviting my film. So I wanted to tell a story about absence of men in romantic sense in the life of a woman. Even if they are present, they are still absent mostly. And my uncle was in army, and I was working in such a town where many men was in army, and I have seen that they used to come only once in a year or twice in a year. And these wives who were left behind, they expected, as society, we were expected them to wait. And I felt, why to wait for someone who is not present? So, and I thought, if the man is away for so long, maybe she will get out of the habit of his touch or anything. And I knew all those stories of cheating wives, and I don't even call that cheating, but yeah, they seek love. They ensure their own existence. They chose themselves, and then romantic needs first. And yeah, so I wanted to tell a story of absence of men and lonely wives, and who prefer to seek love for themselves. And yeah, so, and yeah, I think, and I was fascinated with the mountains. I used to live in the mountains. So of course I wanted to located this story in that landscape, because I always find mountains very romantic. Everyone goes there for their honeymoon, but when you start living there, you feel that mountains are becoming or behaving like a prison. So yes, I think.
Good. Yes, Varsha.
Bad Girl is definitely a very personal film. I had the idea to make this film when I was watching yet another Tamil film made by a male filmmaker, which had like a really badly written female character. And it's just really tiring for me to watch those narratives. And like just the past few days, we've been having so much fun. I always have a lot of fun when I hang out with women, and we just talk about films or whatever. I think women are a lot of fun, and there's a lot of joy in our lives, but there's a very one-dimensional portrayal of women on screen, where we're really boring. And I just wanted to make a film that was really fun about women, and it's deeply personal, because all of the feelings that the protagonist feels in the film are feelings that I have felt. Yeah, so when my mother asked me, I told her it's not autobiographical, but like I told her it was all fiction. But it was definitely a very personal film for me. The incidents that happen in the film, I have seen happening to my friends, to my family members. My mother has told me stuff that happened in her life. So, these are all like very universal and stories that we all connect with. Yeah.
Yeah. If you look at the whole panel sitting here with the 7 directors, if you want to classify them, all the 3 women directors, they have portrayed female protagonists in their own perspective and challenging the patriarchal narrative in the society and trying to write down their own stories. And when you try to, Varsha, I'm coming to your film, when you try to portray the protagonist who is going against the norms that Indian society has set for a girl, by being a common audience and being a common people, I'm having a question in my mind that why you titled it as bad girl. Again, it's a patriarchal term that you are using there when you are challenging the patriarchal norm.
The title was supposed to be ironic. It comes at a moment where she feels judged and watched and, like she feels like she's been exposed. The font of the design was like a rubber stamp. She feels that she's being branded a bad girl. And the entire journey is her embracing whatever the society terms as bad. Because, you know how like food that's really bad for you is tasty? Healthy food is very rarely tasty. Similarly, the things that you're told you're not supposed to do can actually be a lot of fun. And, when you don't have examples where you don't have your ancestors who've made, even if they are mistakes, you should be able to do them to figure out what is right for you, right? So it's her embracing the title of, women are called sluts and women are called bad and women are called all kinds of names, when they follow what excites them. You just need to embrace it. I don't think there is any other, nobody's going to call you a saint in your generation. They might, in the future. Any woman who's ever gone against the grain has been a hero. So the point is that it doesn't matter what people, but having said that, I agree with you because when I released my film, after it came on OTT platforms, which is where mostly women tend to watch films, unfortunately, a lot of women came and told me, oh, it was such a nice film. Why did you call it Bad Girl? We thought it was like a very soft porny film. That's why we didn't come to the theaters or we would have watched it. So I take your point that it does send the wrong message, but I thought it would be communicated in my font and everything. I think I expected a little too much nuance from our audience.
But if you allow to make it some different title, what it would be?
I actually had there's an old film in Tamil called Aval Appadithan, which means that's just how she is. It's a fantastic film by a filmmaker called Rudraya. It is one of those feminist films that's aged really, really well. So I would have liked, that was an option that I had in my head. But I think Bad Girl is a very fitting title for my story. Market is a whole other thing. I mean, there are two conversations to be had. There's the market and there's the story. I think Bad Girl is the title that came to me when the idea came to me. There's a reason why I called it that. Because everybody has to be a Sati Savitri, right? Like, women have to be that. So, there's a reason why I called it that. I wanted to normalize that.
Now, to both the ladies, may I ask you a common question? Anyone can answer out of you. That you want to write a new kind of Indian feminism through films?
I think, thankfully, so we have watched Women by Men for some 100 years. And I'm so tired of watching Women by Men because they made women, they have turned women into men because they don't know that we have our own problems. Thankfully, feminism is also changing by the time. And before it was society versus women. And now I'm seeing in films that women the internal conflicts of women are there. So now we are no more, thankfully, society versus women only. We are much more than that. We have deeper conflicts than fighting with someone or the whole society. Maybe.
Actually, I think it's very important that we also crack our own version of feminism, not just as Indians, but as individuals. Everybody needs their own version of, because I think even while writing Bad Girl, in one of the earlier drafts, the protagonist, I had this entire sequence about her just being on dating apps and finding a lot of gratification in it. But by the time I actually finished, shooting the film, I changed all those scenes because, this idea of Western feminism, it doesn't apply here because we are still not safe. Women are still not safe here. Yeah. So I do think we need our own version of feminism because, while a lot of movements that have happened abroad can apply, we can take inspiration from it. You can't retrofit one political movement in another landscape. I don't think it works that way.
That's why I asked that question. Now here on this panel we have another, I have observed very carefully that in this panel we have two directors who work basically on language. One has worked on To Do and one has worked on Missing. And both of the directors, they are focusing on language. If you know that the very famous linguist in India, Dr. Ganesh Devi, mentioned it very categorically that we are losing almost 1600 languages, and within coming days there will be no language. The only language will remain in the world will be a pictorial language. He has worked a lot on that. Now when these two directors, I want an answer from both of you. When you are working on your own language, you have a concern that my language is not documented properly and my language is missing now, and I'm afraid that my language will miss from this whole upcoming language and in this whole chaotic world of digitized kind of hampering that is going on all across the world. Yeah, what is your view about using your own languages especially?
Yeah, of course. Basically what happens is Tulu is my mother tongue, I told you, These people will go to Dubai, Mumbai. Then basically they forget Tulu as a mother tongue. Then they'll speak their local language like Hindi or any other languages. And only not languages, sir. Only not for speak or something. Culture is there, sir. Yes. That culture will go through the language. So that's why we are very much focusing on the languages. See, there is one more language called Kodava in Karnataka. Very less people are there now. That no cinemas are coming, no theaters are there, no writers are there. So some after 20, 25 years, then that language will be totally vanished. Then they'll speak some English or something like that. So when we lost language, we lost everything, sir. So that's why we are focusing a small community of this language. And I always say that please support this kind of language throughout India. And let them, because I went to some place, one particular place. They doesn't know that Tulu speaking language is there. Then he searched in Google and he find out. So this is what. So we have lots of languages, lots of cultural attitudes. So that's why we are focusing more on that. Even I tried Kannada also. Kannada, there are so many people are doing so many cinemas. So let it be apart from a Tulu. That is my mother tongue, so I am so happy to do in Tulu.
Because once you lost a language, you lost the whole culture. And we are the land of multicultural society. We live with, we are not a melting pot like US, that all the people are coming and becoming one. We are having our own culture. We have all the multicultural life, and every Indian is multicultural, and that's why we need to protect our own language. And when we are protecting the language, we are not protecting only language or the sounds of that particular language. We are protecting the whole culture that is coming with that language. Same thing happens with missing also. Dr. Datta.
Thank you. But missing is not my mother tongue. My mother tongue is Assamese. And I make this film in missing language because it is their story. My story, it's about the missing people who live this life. So I deliberately choose their language. In Assam, there is a language I think only 2 persons know, that is Tai Khamyang. It is going to extinct. Only 2 or 3 persons.
2 persons only?
Yeah, know that language. That is called Tai Khamyang. So, yes? No. People forget the language. So, this is a harsh reality. But fortunately, there are many people who speak machine language. Suppose there are some languages like Deori. The population is small. So we have so many languages in Assam and Northeast. So missing is one of them. But I make this film in machine language because it is their story. And I think, yes, you were rightly mentioned, I personally feel that day when all the people of the world speak English, I think there will be no business in English.
Yeah.
So English is a big business even.
Yeah.
So I think we should respect our language. We should respect the culture of that language. Yeah, that's why I always feel that we should preserve the languages. Thank you.
And cinema is the only medium to preserve the language, I think, because you can able to bring out the culture, you can bring out all the things on the screen which can be documented for a long time. Even if you document the things into words, into books, there are no readers nowadays to read all those things in those languages. Again, the 2 directors I have classified, they worked on youth, and what the young and youth feels, what they think about their relationship with nature, about their intimate relationships, how they come close to each other, how they can understand each other, and the way they have their own understanding of bonding. What do you feel when you try to bring out the youth or the young adult into that particular films?
So particularly for this, again, was very personal that I live in Pune, where constructions are happening.
Yeah.
And you're surrounded by that. And if you are thinking from a perspective of I want to reach in time to my college, to my work, always face this. कि यार traffic हो गया, you know, so pollution बहुत है. So when I go to the remote places or suburbs or villages like Kolhapur, Datwad, where we shot the film, it's like a meditation. You just forget everything. You are there and you start asking questions which really matter to you personally. So it was a meditation for me, and at the same time bringing back to the theme of nostalgia, that thinking from a perspective of a young kid, that what if he goes back. And always throughout my film, while I was developing it, while I was shooting the film, and while I've even in the post-production process, I always took help from my fellow cast who are like 20-year-old, 25-year-old, and they helped me a lot to understand this. Even though there is not much different, even I am young, but at the same time, it really mattered to me to get to know them. That in Raghav Vartak, he is the actor from my film. He never went back to his village, Ichalkaranji. It's near Datwad, but he never went back. So while shooting the film, when we started that, we'll have a workshop in Datwad. So from Pune, we all went there. And when we were going there, he was like, I want to make a stop at Ichalkaranji. So he went to his village, and I saw that, he was going and meeting his relatives. And so even that essence was brought into the film. So that perspective helps when you are collaborative and when you are always, sharing experiences with each other. I think that's why it helped me a lot.
There were a lot of things which I think I really care about. That's happening with the youth, especially in Himachal. One thing is we really have a lack of exposure. Because the life there, it's so slow, it's so monotonous, and the thing is, we want to preserve our nature in terms of development, but the development, it's all towards tourism. It's not towards the point where our we get better educational opportunities, or something like that. So that's one thing we really lack exposure. And even if someone there has, they are ambitious in some sense, there's a drastic change in life when we come to the cities, and most of us, it's very difficult for us to to really adapt to it. So that's another problem. Then there's a lot of drug problem which is also happening because of it's traveled from Punjab to Himachal, the heroin thing, that's very concerning. And so I've tried to put all these things in my film through the characters, not to make a point, but just somewhere when someone sees my film, they just think about it, ki why is this character doing something in this way, which is very, I think, someone living in a urban center, it's very, it can be a little annoying or childish, if you see that way, ki why is he behaving like this. But it's really relevant there. So these were the small things I tried putting in my characters, and it shouldn't be very off from the story which I am trying to tell, but to really translate it within my story.
Yeah, now I think I should shift towards the audience. If you have some questions to ask to all these directors, you can. If you have any questions, or else I'll continue with the questions. It should not be monotonous that I'm only talking to them and they are answering my questions. You have watched the films. If you have any questions, please, you can ask. Yeah. Yeah, please, please. Yeah.
A debut film especially, and while operating as a filmmaker, do you still see that it is still looked at a certain lens, or it is highly dominated by men? That's obvious. But how, actually through your processes, if you could answer individually, how did you had to handle this, and what was your relation in terms of operating within this ecosystem as a debut female filmmakers?
Yeah, you can.
Check, yeah. So for me, it's been a pretty spiritual journey for me. I was even telling Anupurna about it before the panel. We were just talking about it. I had a lot of women in my crew, for instance, right? And for me, even like learning how to be in a movie set and be a boss and be a woman was a little challenging, because I have worked as an AD for 9 years in the industry before I made this film. I have no idea how to be a girl and be a boss, because I've only seen men in positions of power. I have never had a female boss, nor have I had like a female subordinate. It was the first time all of these things were happening to me. And men are not very nice, especially in a movie set. They're not very nice. And I'm making a chick flick. I wanted the set to be a happy place, but was it? No. Like while making the film, I was disappointing myself, because I always thought when I had so many women working with me, I would have a very nice relationship with them and that sort of a thing. That didn't happen. So starting from there, the industry and how I saw myself and how they saw me, starting from there to like, film festivals, after the film was complete, when film festivals happened, I wondered a lot of times if, like, I didn't make a very art house film, right? It's an entertaining movie, but I got a lot of attention from film festivals. So I started wondering, is it only because I'm a woman that I'm in all of these places? Is it one of those things? But then again, when the film released, I realized women do need festivals, because we don't have men thronging to the theaters too, and it's mostly any movie that you go to, it's 80, even in like a city like Chennai, any movie that you go to, 80% of the audience is men, right? So they're not thronging to the theaters to watch my movie, so I have to go and take whatever space is being offered to me. So for me, it's been a very mixed and confusing journey. I'm still figuring out what it means to be because it is a very patriarchal world, and the film industry is patriarchal and therefore capitalistic, and all of those things are interwoven with each other, right? When there's so much money involved in movies, it automatically becomes an unfair industry, and you have to be an unfair person. So there's no question of justice or fairness here, because oh, you have a stomach ache, it's okay, let's go for take. It is like that, it is a pretty cruel space. So I think I'm still finding my answers about this. But having said that, my experience so far is that even if you have a lot of unpleasantness wading through this, you always find your tribe, you always find people who will be your allies, and I think that is the beauty. And there are so many people who want to listen to you and your stories and your perspective, and that's the good part, I think.
Good. Yeah, anyone else?
So, Agnes Varda said, I wanted to be a happy feminist, but that doesn't exist. So I used to scream on my set. This was my second feature, and this feature film, I got the Biennale grant, and Venice premiere was already promised for my film. So things were bit changed, but with my first feature film, I used to scream and fire men then also, because men is not equipped to take orders from a woman. And yeah, but I fought it. But it's very sad that, okay. But I want to say one thing, that recently so Varsha was telling about festivals, and I want to say about grants. So I was in Biennale, and I saw they chose 2 queer artists and 2 women artists. And I felt maybe we didn't have a system of this, but at least somehow passively maybe internationally from grants or through festivals, there is awareness that women voice have shut down for many, many years. So now at least they are trying to make being inclusive. Actually, they are being inclusive.
Coming back to the question, answering to that, I would like to say that, since my childhood, I've been watching this gender discrimination a lot. But when I was in my primary school, class 3 or 4, I have seen, boys received all the toys and, books and whatnot. On the other hand, I'm talking about West Bengal government. And on the other hand, girl child received rice. They used to body weight us and get us rice in exchange of, in the name of honor, to be very honest. And then when I was in class 8, when adolescence hits, puberty hits, they used to get us iron tablets, and boys used to get cycles inside the school. This is what they used to distribute. So you understand, And coming to when I was in class 10th, I lost my very close friend, which is mentioned in my film, Songs of Forgotten Trees. Her name was Jhuma Nath. Because she was Dalit, government provided money for her marriage. So you understand the discrimination? Government promoting marriages for women and not education. But for boys, they are giving everything, laptops, cycles, and whatnot, books. So those kind of society I have seen, I've surrounded with since my childhood. In my very first film, I have received a lot of gender discrimination because, there were people who were like, I don't think so you can do that. I don't think so. What is this film about? A girl child wants to see a river. Is it a film? And I have answered them a lot, but then obviously after a point of time, you also realized that there is no point of answering men at all. So for me, it was definitely personal, is very political after a point of time, and I made this film, Songs of Forgotten Trees. I made them heard, I made them seen, and I made them follow whatever I wanted to do. So they did it all for the sake of money. Some of not, some of them definitely they did it for the sake of money. And when the film went to Venice, everybody were like, okay, I think you can do it. So this is how it all worked in my case. I don't have much good experience with men. Maybe this is why I made a film on two women, I guess.
Sorry, I will just, talk about what you said, Nidhi ma'am, about, men are not equipped and they, like,
Men are
it
not
was...
equipped to take orders from women.
Orders from the women, that is what
I took order from my producer. She is my wife. So
But
she...
these-
why.
No, you can't
She told
clap
me
on
to
this.
stay in my...
Okay, yeah,
she said, stay in your lane,
There is a slight problem in this statement and all this clapping.
Okay.
Let me tell you what.
Yeah.
When we, these small examples are not the world. These small examples are not the world.
these are the exceptions.
These are exceptions, and exceptions should not be put on the aisle as an example.
Got it.
Also, there was an article said women never rape. It's only men raping men and women too.
I think on this, yeah, he wants to say something. Yeah, please.
I'm coming from a state called Kerala. We known for literacy. We known for literature and literacy. How many women directors you know from Kerala? And the fund right now, what they are providing for women directors is 1 crore. Just to make a movie. At the same time, the other films produced under 15 crores, 20 crores. That is the basic budget happening in Kerala. And what she said, like, in a way, I have the problem before. I realized recently. Sometimes we can also change. At that time, like, I have really big problem with people, like, when the other gender, especially the women, giving me orders. I really have problems. I can't accept that. But this edition, I work for a foundation called Kochi Binale Foundation. This edition, most of my HODs are like women. Technically, I'm here just because there is nothing much to do there for me right now. So things are happening smoothly. Earlier, I thought it won't happen. I think the industry in the system, when I started working with the Malayalam movie, we need a AD just for namesake. It's not like for the quality. So they need someone on the group, one female. Yeah, either costumes or take care of the actress. I mean, actress also a wrong word nowadays. Like, yeah, take care of like the actor, so-called, like, that's how the system works. I'm not saying just for namesake, I'm saying I'm a kind of, I thought like I'm a Sigma man and Sigma male and all. But recently I realized, yeah, my partner and other people, they really give me the knock. So you're doing something wrong. Yeah, thank you.
I think on this note, because we can discuss a lot on gender discrimination in the thing, and apart from cinema, there is so much of things, because we have seen all those things. We are culturally conditioned in that way that we are always discriminating the other gender, and that's why it's on. We can have so many things to speak on, but on this note, I think that we should give a round of applause to all these beautiful young directors and intellectual directors who want to say something in their own language, something into their own words, and they have tried to convey and convince us that yes, we are here and we are going to show you what we want. Thank you very much, all of you, for being in this panel. Thank you very much.